What's happening, y'all? Just coming back home. Got home from bowling the USBC Michigan State Masters yesterday, where I ended up finishing third, which is a whole lot better than I thought I was going to finish because I felt like I bowled like poop. Just lack of practice. I mean, I bowled a couple of times last week, and that was about it leading up to the event, but execution wasn't great. I bowled 180, 220, and then 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. To make it to 19 over. So a high game of 220, low game of 184. It took -7, I think, to make the cut into the top 12. And the weird thing is like the bracket they did was completely jacked up. They didn't understand what was going on. They gave the top 4 a bye, and this was double elimination, which isn't possible with 12 people, by the way. And if it is, I don't know how to make it happen. It's really weird. So they had the top, bottom 8 people bowl round 1. The 4 losers then sat out a round, while the winners bowled the 4 people who got the bye. Then the losers of that round had to bowl the losers of the first round. So essentially, you could have ended up bowling the same person again. And then that person would have made more money than you, even though you beat them the first round, and you would have gotten bottom cash. So, I mean, and somebody who got a bye could have gotten the same amount of money as a person who lost 2 in a row. So the bracket really didn't make any sense. The whole thing was jacked up, but that's okay. I mean, we all had a conversation with them at the end of it and kind of gave them some input and all that, which we pretty much do every year, and it usually falls on deaf ears, but it is what it is. We'll see if they do anything with it next year. On top of the issues of nobody knew what was going on because they changed the dates and sent out emails a week before, and that was it. So people just didn't know the event was going on. But anyway, so I ended up finishing third. I lost to SIBO. I bowled almost 450, which was a huge score because I was winning matches to start with like 360. And SIBO just bowled 480 or something against me. So his look was pretty good. He ended up barely losing to Justin Knowles, a dang lefty. Knowles has won that tournament 3 years in a row now. So I had no business even finishing third, to be completely honest. I pretty much got lucky throughout the whole thing. But it was nice to finish third because it felt a little bit better. I started to get more comfortable near the end in the last few matches. And seemed to go pretty well from there. Made some good shots to finish. So I guess maybe the rust kind of fell off and I started bowling good near the end. But anyway, so I finished third. But here's the thing. This is back to the whole wiping the ball off thing. I was using a Zen at the end. And what you'll notice is you do have that time in between shots. You got 2 or 3 minutes in between shots when your opponent is up bowling. And they bowl on the right lane and they bowl on the left lane. And then you're up. When you go and throw that shot on the right lane, your ball has absorbed some of that oil, so it's not going to be affecting the cover stock as much. So I wasn't wiping the ball off that shot, and then I'd get up on the left lane and wipe the ball off. So that way it was the same as that, because they were really tight in the middle. This is one of those instances where I needed the ball to read the middle of the lane. Where I was playing super steep through the front, and I needed the ball to read the middle of the lane to be able to create that room for error. So I actually needed to wipe the ball off this time. So I guess my point behind this is you can use it to your advantage. Like there's times, I mean, you already knew that, but there's strategy behind it. So if you're bowling a quick event where there's only like 2 of you on the pair and you guys are just basically rapid firing shots, if you notice one lane is tighter than the other, wipe the ball off on that lane and don't wipe it off on the other lane. Give yourself a little bit of hold on the other lane. Like there's certain things you can do. Like on the right lane, if I felt like the right lane started to get tight, I would actually wipe the ball off. Even though it sat there for a minute, I would wipe the ball off on that lane, noticing that lane's a little tighter. And then I would wipe it off again on the left lane just because you got all that oil on it then. So there's different ways to approach this. I'm not saying don't wipe it off all the time or wipe it off all the time. I'm saying pick and choose your battles. Figure out when it's advantageous for you to wipe it off and not. For me, I think it actually makes sense to wipe off your shiny bowling balls or your pearl bowling balls because the idea is to get the ball to read in the middle of the lane and to read before the end of the pattern and not go crazy and be over under. So wiping off the pearl bowling balls makes sense. Wiping off your high friction bowling balls doesn't make sense because you're actually trying to get those balls to see as much friction as possible. So like for me, I had an IQ tour at like 500 I was trying to play straight with, and I was wiping that ball off because I wanted it to read early. I wanted it to read fast and bail and kind of use up its energy and not hook down lane. That's an instance where I am wiping the ball off because I want that surface to be as dry as possible. Same thing with urethane balls. I'm always wiping off urethane balls because you want the urethane balls to hook early. You want them to see the front part of the lane. If it's a super hooking short pattern and if they're hooking too quick in the front, then I won't wipe it off. Then I'll just leave the oil on there and keep it smooth. So just keep in mind, man, there's strategies to be used when you're actually out in tournaments and out in competition. And I'm starting to learn it a little bit myself. A lot of this stuff I'm just now putting into effect for myself, and I'm finding it's working in certain areas. So if wiping the ball off is part of your pre-shot routine, you know, for me, it's not, because there's going to be times when I'm not wiping it off. If it is, then to use this strategy, maybe try to figure out how to wipe the ball off without wiping the oil off, if that's one of your things where you don't want to wipe it off. If you're trying to use the oil in one case, try not to wipe the ball off in a spot where you need the oil. You know, I don't know, try to figure something out, but it's part of your routine, so it's hard to not wipe the ball at all when it's part of your routine, if you know what I'm saying. So, I don't know, I just thought I'd throw this in there and kind of let you guys know what was going on this weekend and stuff. So, next weekend, I'm bowling the Detroit Masters, same format. That'll be interesting to see if they keep it the same with the bracket and everything, but this one's just right down the road, so me and my boy are going to head down there. Actually, no, my boy might actually go with his mom next weekend. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I'm going to head down. I'm going to bowl this weekend or next weekend, and we're going to see if we can't have a little bit better time. I got a couple of balls to drill that showed up at the pro shop this week, that new speed, the top speed. And then also, there was another one. What was the other one? Oh, that new 3D offset attack, that blue pearl. That thing is pretty. So I'm gonna go drill those up. I've got the review for the new urethane from 900 Global, that Zen U. I've got the review for the new motive ball coming, that Ripcord, the launch. And then I also have the Fate, the new Belmo ball coming out, and the Track Legion, the Purple Legion Solid. So on top of the two new ones that I just got. So be on the lookout for those. And until next time, see y'all later.